Korean skincare has a reputation for being better, but most people don't understand why. Better textures, smarter formulations, more thoughtful ingredients, often at a fraction of the price you pay for Western equivalents. But if you've never used Korean skincare before, it's genuinely overwhelming to know where to start. There are hundreds of brands, thousands of products, and a lot of content online is either sponsored or just recycling the same viral recommendations without actually explaining why they're worth trying. You also don't want to get ripped off or blow a load of money on things you don't need. This is a video I wish I had when I was trying to figure out which Korean skincare was actually worth my money. I'm Kirk, a skin enthusiast who helps men in their 30s look more rested and healthy without overcomplicating things. Everything I'm covering today are products I've personally used and tested for at least 3 months, and I genuinely think they're worth considering. Some of these are in the skin reset method, but most of them aren't, because the skin reset method is intentionally minimal and focuses on what actually works for men who want to look less tired or prematurely aged. But if you want to experiment beyond the basics, or you're just curious about what Korean skincare does well, this is where I'd start. I've done my best to try a wide range of Korean products, but if you think I'm missing something or you think there's something even better, let me know in the comments down below. I'd genuinely love to hear from you and try it out. Oh, and one last thing, before we get into it, I made a full intro guide to Korean skincare that covers the philosophy behind it, why Korean formulations tend to be better value, and the most affordable places to buy these products without getting ripped off. If you want that context, or you're wondering where to actually get this stuff at the most affordable price, the video should be coming up here, but it's definitely linked down in the description. This video is purely about the products themselves, what they do, why I like them, and whether they're worth trying. And if you want the complete system rather than individual product recommendations, the Skin Reset Guide is also linked down below. It's free, it's structured, and it uses the best of both Korean and Western skincare to give you results without the guesswork. None of the products I mentioned in this video are sponsored, gifted, or affiliated in any way. I bought all of them myself. Right, let's talk products. Cleansers are one of the easiest places to waste money because the difference between a good cleanser and a bad one isn't what most people think. It's not how deeply it cleans, it's what it leaves behind. A House of Hair Cleansing Balm is a great first cleanse if you're wearing SPF or just want something that removes the dirt from the day. You twist the packaging and it releases a bit of cleanser that you rub onto your face. It turns you temporarily black before you wash it off, which looks ridiculous, but it delivers a pretty deep clean and is also surprisingly hydrating for a balm. Skin 1004's cleansing oil is another solid first cleanse option, and I think probably my favorite out of all of the ones that I've tried in terms of cleansing oils. I like to rub it onto dry skin at the start of my evening routine. It's lightweight, feels great, and then as soon as you add water to it to wash it off, it emulsifies and becomes this kind of milky texture, which you can then wash off. For your second cleanse, Skin 1004 also have a cleansing ampule that has one of the best foaming textures I've come across in a cleanser. It's packed with Centella asiatica, making it calming and great for irritated skin, and it's hydrating, feels luxurious, and leaves your skin feeling great after you've washed it off. Round Lab's Docto Cleanser is my other daily Korean foaming cleanser. It's a pretty similar affair to Skin 1004's in that it starts off as this nice cream and then lathers into a really luxurious feeling lather and foam that's really hydrating. For me, Round Lab's Docto Cleanser is just a slightly nicer experience than Skin 1004's Ampule, but to be honest with you, they're very similar, and I'm almost certain that one of them has been inspired by the other. But you definitely can't go wrong with this one, and this one actually features in the Skin Reset Guide because it's relatively easy to pick up in a lot of pharmacies and drugstores in the UK, and I'd assume in other places like the US and overseas in Australia. Toners are one of the most misunderstood categories in skincare. Not because they don't work, but because most people don't understand what they're actually for. They're originally designed to rebalance your skin's pH after harsh alkaline cleansers stripped your skin. But pretty much all modern cleansers, especially Korean ones, don't actually do that anymore. So most people don't actually need a toner. Cynics among you might argue or say that toners have been created by skincare companies to flog more products. But if a toner has added benefits, hydration, soothing, or active ingredients, it can still be worth using. It's just not essential, and it's not part of the skin reset methodology that I created for exactly that reason. But if you want to try one of these bad boys out, these are the two that I'd reach for. First, Numbuzzin's number 9 PDRN toner. This one seems to have a lot of hype online right now, and I think it's mostly deserved. From an experiential standpoint, I really like the way it leaves my skin looking after I use it. It gives me this healthier, slightly more vibrant look, kind of like I've just got back from the beach, even if it's the middle of the winter in the UK. But from what I can see, there's a lot of dubious marketing around the ingredients list, which I find leaves a bit of a sour taste. Numbuzzin claims that the product contains 50 different peptides. I counted 47 when I was doing my research, but either way, that sounds pretty impressive. Until you delve a little bit deeper, the 47 plus peptides and peptide derivatives are almost certainly present at trace levels, meaning they're there for marketing appeal more than proven efficacy. They call it angel dusting. Now, I'm not a trained chemist, so you have to take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. But my reading is that the ingredients higher up on the list, niacinamide, glycerin, ceramides, are at levels to be genuinely useful and are probably why it has a net effect of making my skin look better. I like the product, but there's just something in the way it's marketed that feels a bit predatory, that leaves a bit of a bad taste. I do wish it came in a spray bottle though. I looked into decanting it, which is a faff in itself, but I wasn't confident that decanting it wouldn't mess with the active ingredients, so I left it as it is. And the other toner that I want to talk to you guys about, I think is an absolute banger, and that is Laneige's Cream Skin, which you should be able to see now. So this wasn't the first Korean milky toner to be released, but it was one of the first, and it's been reformulated a few times since then, which has caused a little bit of controversy from what I've read online. But anyway, if you have slightly dry skin, this is one of the most moisturizing toners that I've come across. If my skin feels dry or tight after cleansing, this makes that disappear immediately. I also love the way my skin looks after applying it. After you've cleansed and you apply this, I find it just gives your skin a really nice look and feel. But if you've got oily skin, you might find this one to be a little bit too thick, which is a real shame because I love it. It's a much simpler product than the Unbuzzin one, and if you look at the ingredients on paper, it appears to have been designed to be more deeply hydrating and nourishing. Humectants, emollients, antioxidants. You can also get it in a spray bottle like this, which I really like. I just mist it over my face after cleansing and then move on. As we probably all know, Korean skincare has a big focus on hydration and prevention over correction. And the Laneige Cream Skin is one of the classics that perfectly illustrates that philosophy. I like the Numbuzzin product, despite the shady marketing, because it genuinely does something noticeable to my skin. But the Laneige Cream Skin is the GOAT for me. I'd only ever use one of these at a time, and 9 times out of 10, for me, it's the Cream Skin. If you find this useful, don't forget to like or subscribe. Right, masks. Now, I want to start by saying you don't need sheet masks or overnight masks. They're just serum delivery with occlusion on top. Using them can help ingredients penetrate into the skin, offering intense and immediate but temporary results. So my view is if you find them fun, you enjoy them, like doing them with your partner whilst watching TV, or they just make you want to actually do your skincare, they can be great, but that's about it. But with all of that said, anecdotally, I found them to be genuinely helpful when my skin barrier is irritated or compromised. And they're one of the best things I've found for instant calming. But of course, it all comes down to the serum the mask is soaked in, and different serums are more effective for different skin conditions. I'm not going to dive into masks for treating specific conditions in this video. I'm just going to talk about them at a high level. These are the 3 I like to keep on hand. The first one is Biodance's Overnight Mask. This is a bit of a treat product. It's relatively expensive, and you need to leave it on for 3 to 5 hours or overnight. I'm usually pretty busy throughout the day and don't really have 3 to 5 hours spare to stick one of these on, so I've never really used it like that. But I have used it as a last step before bed. When I've used it, I've slept on my back, and for the most part, I found it stayed on okay. I really like travel and scuba diving, and so my plan is to use one of these bad boys next time I'm on a long haul flight. And as sad as it sounds, I cannot wait for the flight and to stick this on. I found the mask leaves your skin feeling really hydrated, soft, and bouncy the next day. I also found my forehead wrinkles to be much less noticeable, and I think it's because this mask makes them so deeply hydrated. The mask changes color as it works, which I find weirdly satisfying. In my mind, this one is definitely a bit of a treat, but it's 100% worth it. Next is Numbuzzin's number 4 Icy Soothing Sheet Mask that contains tea tree and panthenol. Numbuzzin have a range of different masks numbered from 1 to 5, and they also have their number 9 mask. Out of all the ones I've tried, this is my favorite sheet mask. I like to use it when chilling out on the sofa or when I want to give my skin a bit of a pick-me-up. It usually dries out in about 20 minutes. I found it's really calming on irritated skin and helps clear my skin, especially if I've overdone it with actives like tretinoin or glycolic acid. I also love spreading some of the leftover serum in the packet onto my neck because why waste it and it feels great. Again, you don't need a sheet mask, it's just serum with a delivery system. But if you want one that's quick, effective, and genuinely soothing, this is my go-to and one I like to keep on hand in the fridge. Next, Beauty Joe Son's Wash On, Wash Off Ground Rice and Honey Mask. I use this every week or two when I feel like I want my skin to have an extra little bit of a boost. I'll either cleanse my face and stick it on whilst watching TV in the evening, or if I'm going to have a shower and I think ahead, I'll cleanse, apply it along with a cheeky hair mask, and then wash it off in the shower. I found it's really good if you want a bit of extra hydration or that just got back from the beach feeling. This mask is different from the others we spoke about in that it's a clay mask. And while it doesn't dehydrate you like a lot of the other clay masks out there, it can be a little bit irritating on your skin if it's feeling sensitive. So I only use it when my skin is stable and calm. It's a brilliant mask to have in your arsenal, but it's definitely an extra, not something you need. Next, actives. Korean skincare brands have typically created actives to cater to Western demand. Retinoids, vitamin C, exfoliating acids, because the Korean philosophy tends to focus more on hydration and prevention rather than correction. But these are some of the ones that I think are genuinely good. First, we've got Round Lab's Soothing Green Serum. This came as part of a Round Lab set I ordered from Olive Young, and I was surprised at how effective it is at calming angry or irritated skin. It's 79% pine leaf extract and contains Centella asiatica, both of which are calming and anti-inflammatory. I found the best supported benefits that this delivers is soothing redness and irritation, strengthening the skin barrier, improving hydration, and lightly smoother texture. I find it to be a pretty solid one to keep on hand, and it lasts for 12 months once it's been opened. If your skin is feeling reactive or you've pushed actives too hard, this brings it back to baseline quickly. The next product illustrates something that Korean skincare does exceptionally well. It takes ingredients that are already proven to work and makes them significantly easier to tolerate consistently, which most of the time matters more than strength alone. And that product is, of course, the Beauty of Joseon's Eye Revive Serum. This is my daily eye cream. I've been using it nightly for the past 3 months, and I'm really pleased with the results it's delivered so far. You can probably see my under eyes are still a bit of a work in progress, but out of everything I've tried, this is what has delivered some of the best results for me. It's strong, 2% retinol, but the liposome delivery mechanism means it isn't irritating, even around the delicate eye area. It's also pretty affordable, and I found a tube lasts me between 3 and 4 months of nightly use under the eyes. I talked about this in depth in my last Korean skincare video, but I wanted to call it out again because it's genuinely one of the best products I've come across for my under eyes. Now the consensus is you don't need an eye cream because any of the other skincare products you work just the same under the eye. But of course the eye area is slightly more delicate, and so sometimes pulling in something which is slightly softer and easier to tolerate can actually be genuinely useful here, I think. It's also pretty affordable. I found it online for about £7.50, about $8.50, $9, and I found a tube lasts between 3 and 4 months of nightly use. Next, we've got another product from them, and it's the Beauty of Joseon's Eye Revive Under Eye Patches, which have got ginseng and retinol. Now, these are another great pickup. I know some people use them every morning, apparently, because they're good for depuffing. But to be honest, I don't really have a lot of time in the morning, so I tend to use these on a bit of an ad hoc basis when I want to give my under eyes a bit of a boost. rather than part of a regular routine. They've got a bit of a weird rubbery texture when you take them out and put them on your under eye area. And it kind of reminds me a bit of, it's like a rubbery fish skin on your face. But if you can get over that, I think they're great and they really do help to puff the area. I keep mine in the fridge to help keep them cool, which I think obviously helps a bit as well. They're definitely my favorite under eye patches that I've used that are relatively affordable. They genuinely make the area look more refreshed and hydrated. Next up is the Numbuzin number 9 eye cream. Now this one has a lot of hype online right now. I tried it, I like it, but it's not the one I use nightly. I found it really hydrating, and cosmetically it makes the under eye area look visibly improved quite quickly, I find, after I put it on. But like the toner from the same line, it's supposed to be doing a lot. It contains PDRN, which is derived from salmon DNA, or to put it another way, salmon sperm. There's actually solid clinical research supporting PDRN injections for accelerating wound healing and tissue regeneration. And injecting it under the eyes is meant to be a great way of treating eye bags. But all of the research that's actually been done with this is on injections, not on topical application. So the science behind it is real. It's just not clear that rubbing salmon sperm or salmon DNA onto your face does what the marketing implies. It has retinol too, though not as potent as the Beauty of Joe Son's retinol for increasing cell turnover. It's got ceramides, which are good for repairing the skin barrier, and again, it's supposed to have over 50 peptides, which makes me question it a bit. I'm almost certain they're not actually at levels strong enough to actually do anything. Now, the packaging on this bad boy is the worst I've come across for any skincare product. As you can probably see, it's supposed to be a needle, almost as if you're injecting the eye cream under your eye like this. But it's pretty terrible though. I think they made it like this for the TikTokers making viral content. This one is actually one that I've got on backup. The one that I've actually been using and do use is this one here. And as you can see, I've actually had to take it out of this packaging like that and keep it so I can stand it up on the shelf. The lid is really hard to take off. Half the time you can't do it and I have to use my teeth and it's always falling off. And then when I actually try and do it, it comes off like this as well. So it's a really awkward and quite difficult packaging, or package I should say, to use, which puts me off using it a lot of the time and I just reach for something easier. But with all of that said, for me, the product works and I like the instant impact it has on my under eye area. But I'm a bit skeptical about what it is and isn't doing in terms of the marketing fluff that Numbuzin have put in. So I won't swap it for the Beauty of Joe Son's under eye retina. Next is Ninelus's 10% azelaic acid serum. This contains niacinamide, which brightens and strengthens the skin barrier, panthenol, which deeply hydrates and supports healing, and snail secretion filtrate, which promotes repair and moisture retention. The azelaic acid improves acne, rosacea, and hyperpigmentation by reducing inflammation, killing bacteria, and inhibiting abnormal melanin production. It gently exfoliates, unclogs pores, and treats sensitive skin with minimal irritation. I use this product to calm my skin a little and treat any spots I get, and I don't really have any complaints. What I really like about this product is it clearly lists the amount of niacinamide, panthenol, and snail secretion that are actually in this product, so you know what you're getting. Next is Skin 1004's Centella Ampule. Now, I love this product, and I use it pretty much daily to help keep my skin calm. My skin has been getting drier as I work my way through my 30s, and this is a great product to provide extra hydration and calming. There's been a lot of hype recently online about the Ordinary's rice lipids and ectoin microemulsion, which is supposed to be a game-changing moisturizing serum. I haven't tried it, but when I heard about it, I thought this probably fills a similar role to the Skin 1004 Centella Ampule. But if I'm missing something, let me know in the comments below. If you shop around, you can get 100ml of the Skin 1004 Centella Ampule for about £11 or $14, which I think is really good value and it lasts for ages. I stocked up during the Black Friday sales and I'm loving it. Which brings us on to Dr. Althea's Vitamin C Boosting Serum. This is one that's in the Skin Reset Guide, and it perfectly illustrates the Korean philosophy we talked about earlier. Unlike a lot of classic Western vitamin C serums built around pure L-ascorbic acid, which is potent but can be finicky and irritating to some people, this one usually isn't as irritating. It uses sea buckthorn water as a base, a plant extract commonly used for antioxidant support, and the main brightening ingredient is 3,0-ethyl ascorbic acid, a vitamin C derivative that's generally more stable and easier to tolerate than pure L-ascorbic acid. What that means for a lot of people is you get brightening without the drama. It's also formulated with tranexamic acid and niacinamide. If you have any lingering redness from old spots or sun damage from not wearing SPF, these three ingredients work together to even that out. I see it as a beginner to intermediate serum that gets results. Well tolerated and effective without the drama of traditional vitamin C. Okay, moisturizers. I've tested 5 Korean moisturizers that I think are genuinely worth considering, depending on what your skin needs. First up is Ilyun Ceramide Atto Lotion. I think of this as a slightly cheaper but not quite as advanced alternative to the Astura Atto Barrier 365 cream, this one here. It includes a complete barrier lipid set, which helps replicate the skin's natural lipid structure. It's great for barrier repair, but it leans slightly more on texture, so it feels a bit lighter and more straightforward in finish than the Astura one. But I wouldn't describe it as a light cream though. If you want a solid Korean barrier supporting moisturizer without spending too much, this is the one. Next up is, of course, the Astura's Atto Barrier 365 cream. This is the most barrier engineered of the 5. It's got an advanced formula that mimics the skin's natural lipid structure and is ideal for tretinoin users or anyone dealing with frequent irritation. I find when my barrier is genuinely compromised, this is the one to reach for. Next is Round Lab's Birch Juice Moisturizing Cream. This is the lightest and most summer-friendly of the 5. It's built around humectants plus panthenol and soothing agents, so it's excellent if you have an oily or sensitive skin, and is good for layering under SPF, although I find it can sometimes leave a bit of a shine. But I think that will probably depend on your skin type. It's the weakest in this list in terms of barrier lipid rebuilding though, but good if you want calm hydration with minimal heaviness. Next is S Nature's Aqua Squalene Moisturizing Cream. This is the hydration and plumping specialist. It's got a large amount of squalene in it, which is an ingredient that seems to be high up on the list in a lot of the products that I like. It's also got 8 types of hyaluronic acid apparently, each with different sized molecules, meaning it delivers hydration at lots of different layers of the skin. So it's great for tight or dehydrated skin, but it's less about structural barrier repair than the lipid-heavy creams like Astura or Ilyun. But none of this matters if you get this next step wrong, because this is the single biggest determinant of how your skin ages over time. And it's also where Korean skincare initially had its biggest advantage. A tan is your skin's stress response to UV damage. That's it. And SPF is the best anti-aging or well-aging ingredient that exists. So if you've avoided SPF because it feels greasy, heavy, or leaves a white cast, Korean formulas are more likely to feel like skincare. Lighter textures, cleaner finishes, and easier daily wear. I noticed that some of you in the comments have said you prefer Western style sunscreens because you don't like the dewy finish that the Korean ones tend to leave. But that hasn't really been my experience of using them. So I think it comes down to everyone's skin being different. If you have oily skin, go for the Beauty of Joseon's Relief Sun Aqua Fresh Rice and B5. It glides into the skin and feels incredible. If you're more on the dry side, the Beauty of Joseon's Relief Sun Serum is the one to go for. These Beauty of Joseon's sunscreens are the ones everyone seems to be talking about. And for good reason. It uses a high percentage of rice extract and rice derived ferments alongside modern UV filters. Think of them as a safe bet. It's fragrance free, lightweight, and disappears on application with no white cast. I found both of these to be pretty comfortable when using them around the eyes and under the eye area here. And if you've never tried a Korean sunscreen before, these are a great place to start. Something I think is important to call out is that these Korean sunscreens usually come in 50ml tubes. So they work out more expensive than large value packs you get in Western drugstores. And you don't want to ration your sunscreen. If the price means you're only going to apply a tiny amount to make it last, it won't do the job. You always want to apply at least 2 fingers worth. So you're better off with a cheaper Western SPF that you can afford to use generously than a premium Korean one that you're afraid to use. Those are the Korean skincare products I think are genuinely worth trying. A few of them are in the skin reset method, but most of them aren't. Because the skin reset method is intentionally minimal and focuses on a select number of Korean and Western skincare products that actually deliver results for men in their 30s and a bit older who want to look less tired or prematurely aged. But if you want to experiment with Korean skincare, I think these are solid places to start. The full skin reset guide is linked down below. It's free, it's structured, and it uses the best of both Korean and Western skincare to give you a proven system that delivers results. And if you want to know more about Korean skincare philosophy, where to buy these products affordably, and why Korean formulations tend to be better value, watch the video here. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.